Hello and welcome into another episode of the Rock for Him podcast. I am your host, Sand Shoes. Man, choked on my coffee there for a minute. Never take a drink right before you have to speak. Just podcast rules. I am your host, Sand Shoes. Joining me today, my good friend, my brother in Christ, our number two man, Riker Levine. Riker, what's up, brother?
We are professionals, I swear. We do this a lot.
We do this a lot, and you would think that one of these days I'll remember not to drink coffee right before I have to speak. But no, I'm still going to do it. But the man of the hour, our good friend, Dusty Ballard, otherwise known as Dusty Bones. Brother, how's it going?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
Doing good. And I seen you were rocking the gear tonight. I like it.
I had to support you guys. Always support me, right?
Absolutely. Like, we absolutely love you and love your music. And I got to tell you, I kind of geeked out a little bit when you know, Jeremy sent me a message. He's like, dude, go look at the TV station, see what Dusty's wearing, pop it up, and there you are with sport and rock for him. I was like, yes. Took a screenshot of it, sent it to my wife. I'm like, where's somebody? So what's going on, brother? What is up?
Oh, not too much. Just kind of getting past winter, right? Kind of took the winter off and took some time, and now I've been getting back out there and getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah, I hear that you just got added to a show. Am I hearing correctly?
Um, from what I
In
hear,
July?
I haven't seen the flyer yet, so until I see the flyer, I guess.
Well, Jeremy just messaged me yesterday and he was like, dude, Dusty's gonna play the show. I was like, yes. Because you are one that I have not seen yet, even though we have done a ton of shows with you. I have not been able to do it. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a great one. So, your last song you put out was Back to Start, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming you're coming on to tell us that you've got new music coming? Maybe? Hopefully?
I have two more songs that I did in Nashville. I've been kind of sitting on them. Um, just trying to figure out my next move. Um, it's hard when it's just me
Yeah,
because any promotion I want to do, I have to raise the money for, and winter time's very hard for that.
for
Um,
sure.
a lot of times I have to go out and do 3 hours at a bar or a restaurant to try to get some money
Hmm.
because a lot of ministry shows don't just doesn't pay.
Right.
Um, so anyway, that's kind of what's been holding me up is promotion money. I had to stop all my promotion through the winter just because I didn't have the funds to do it. Um,
Hmm.
so once I get that rolling again, I'm
Yeah,
getting
I mean,
ready. I told Jeremy I'd be sending it to him at some point. The next song I'm pretty excited about. It's I shared my testimony with you last time. It's a
Yep.
song I wrote for my daughter,
hmm,
and so finding a place is always hard for me, but I know you guys will always embrace it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if it helps, just take a second. Like, where can we and the Rock for Him audience support you? Where would that, where could that support be best used for you? Where can they find you?
Um, as far as finding me, I mean, my stuff's on all the major platforms. I switched distributor. For some reason, I can't get back to start to go on my official YouTube page. It keeps coming up as uh, a topic, I think it is,
Hmm.
and it will not. So I'm probably gonna have to switch back to DistroKid because it just will not go onto my official page for some reason. So when people go to look for it, they actually have to search the title of the song to find it.
Hmm.
Gotcha. So I think, kind of like what Riker is trying to get at is do you have like a Patreon or can they go on to like your website and like donate or
Oh,
do
as far as
something to Yeah,
monetary.
yeah. How can people support you?
Um, yeah, I mean, I got um Cash App and Venmo and all that. I got uh t-shirts that I'm always selling to try to raise money. Um, it's the hard thing is every single thing as a musician now, it's just the I don't want to sound wrong here, the charging never stops.
Sure.
Like Facebook is one charge, TikTok is another charge, YouTube's another charge. And or you can pay a promoter or a company to do all that for you, but then you run the danger of them using bots and you get kicked off of Spotify.
Yep.
I've had that happen to me already where they took down Breathe,
Mm,
and so it's a challenge navigating, but I'm trying my best. I'm learning as I go.
Yeah.
for
And I
sure.
mean, it is really hard, especially because, like, you know, you in a ministry like this, obviously, like, you need support. You need people, supporting this as a ministry and you as a musician. Um, and I imagine, you know, it can be kind of discouraging, especially like for some people looking in from the outside, seeing you doing a ministry. We had this experience recently where they're looking in saying, "Oh, this is a ministry. You shouldn't be charging at all. What is this? This isn't godly." Um, but yeah, I just want to do whatever encouraging I can to you that, like, obviously, you know, get support where you can, get support for your ministry, use it for, the glory of God and, you know,
I appreciate that. When I went down to Nashville, I got the opportunity to work with a producer, and I prayed about it. Because I usually record here in Saginaw, um, with my friend Chris at Fire Hyena, and but this opportunity popped up, and I just prayed, Lord, if this is meant to be, if you want me to go, make the funds happen. And for the next 2 to 3 months, money was just coming at me from every direction. I mean, it was
Mm,
like miraculous. I would go to a show, and usually I give CDs away because, it's how you leave your calling card. And people were giving me $20 left and right for CDs. And the venue, it was a biker church, gave me a ton of money. And I did a little mini tour of Ohio, like a long weekend. And I came back with like $1,500, and it just kept happening. And, friends of my wife and mine that we've known for years just all of a sudden handed me $500 and said, here, we believe in what you're doing. And all these little things kept happening. And I had one girl that I've known my whole life. And she came up to me and she said, told me to write a check. And it was like 15 years ago. I don't remember the exact amount of years that I would know when the time was right. And she said the time is right, and she handed me the check, and it was for $1,000
hmm,
that God told her to write it like 10 or 15 years earlier, and she had this check sitting. I'm sure
mm.
she had to rewrite it or whatever, but um, it was just amazing like that. So I share that too because I don't charge for shows. I know a lot of bands, they criticize me for it, but I just go where God sends me, and He always takes care of me. I never struggle for gas money. I never struggle for a room when I need it or whatever. He just always comes through.
hmm,
Because for me, it's always been ministry first. Not that it's not for other bands. It's just the way I've always done it. Because being a pastor, my my tithing has always gone into this rather than the church I pastor at. That's just kind of the agreement I had with God. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. So that's one facet of your life that we've never really dug into is you being a pastor. Can you just tell us a little bit about that? I mean, how do you balance the pastoral life versus the musician?
Um, it's always a struggle. I mean, I work full time construction and pastor the church, and then weekend warrior running up and down the roads playing music, and then you fit family time in there, and then finding time to. That's where my music has always struggled is promotion because it takes so much time to do the internet stuff, and I just don't have it. By the time I'm winding down at night, it's 10 o'clock, and I can't. stare at a computer screen, I'll just fall right to sleep.
Yeah.
So promotion's always been my downfall. And this year I got some help from a good friend that you guys recommended. Um, but I had to kind of shut that down for the winter, like I said, because funds dried up. But
Yeah.
she was a tremendous help. Um,
Was it Jen?
yeah,
Jen is awesome for sure.
I really had I wanted to share a testimony with you guys if I could.
Absolutely.
I had a really hard year last year to touch on what Riker was talking about, emotionally, mentally, as far as the music. I was struggling because I tried to do everything right this time. Like I said, I got in touch with this producer, Dove Award winning producer, and he worked with Toby Mac and things like that. And so I went down to Nashville, did 3 songs, and everything just went smooth and perfect, right down to you know, we had the studio for 12 hours and it came down to all we had left was one vocal. We re-recorded Ride or Die, and so all I had to do was a vocal. So he talked the engineer into giving us 15 minutes. So I got 3 passes on
Hmm.
Ride or Die to nail the vocals. And between those 3 takes, we were able to Frankenstein together a good enough take. And so the whole trip was like that. Everything just fell into place. And so I get back and I raise the funds to have it. I'm already looking at thousands of dollars, and I raise the funds to get it mixed and mastered. I go through a name, a big name mixer, and because that's what the producer wanted. And anyway, all that to say, I finally get ready to release the song, and it just personally, like one on one with people, it did great, but I couldn't get answers from radio promoters. I couldn't get answers from, labels. I couldn't get answers from anybody. And I just kept hitting rejection after rejection.
Hmm.
And then when I finally did get through to some people, I was pretty much told, we don't want your genre, and I'm just paraphrasing there. And that, it's either got to be CCM, hard rock, or worship. There's no room for anything else. That's in no, in not so many words, that's what I was told. Not just by one people, but several people. And I tried to, talk to a couple Christian record labels and kind of got brushed off there. So I was just feeling really discouraged. Like I really believed in the song and I got so much great feedback on it, not just the song itself, but the production and everything that it was there, and so I just really went into a funk and I really was getting bitter. And I I had a show in Pennsylvania, oddly enough, other than you guys, a secular station um supports me unbelievably, called Hugs. And so I was nominated for an award on their awards show. So I drove to Pennsylvania to play for their awards show. And of course, that weekend I woke up sick.
Mm.
So I drove anyway. I only had to do 3 songs, so I muscled through it. And I was pretty much it for the winter. And then I got contacted by Broken Bottle about doing a Christmas show, acoustic, and which I think was thanks to Jen. And so anyway, I was really looking forward to it. I've played with Matt before. Matt Baird was the headliner, and I was really looking forward to it. And These Beautiful Ruins was on it, as well as Undefeated, and a local guy that was really good, called Yeshua Horn. And anyway, I get down there, or I wake up that morning. I've been looking forward to it. It's a new company with Broken Bottle I haven't worked with yet, and I'm just really excited to go. I woke up that morning with a scratchy throat. I was like, "You
Mm.
got to be kidding me!" So, like I said, I've muscled through it before. I decided I'm going to go anyway. I don't like canceling, so I drove the 6 hours down to the show. Got there about 5 hours early. That's how excited I was. There's a big flea market next door, so I had stuff to do all day looking for toys. And anyway, as the day went on, it got worse. I bought cough drops, I bought cough syrup, I bought throat coat tea, I bought everything I could possibly think of, and it just kept getting worse. And
Hmm.
some biker friends from of mine from Ohio, they drove across the state to support me and everything. And and I told them, I said, thanks guys for coming, but I'm not going to be able to sing. It's getting worse. So they prayed over me and they said, just it's going to happen. Just believe in a miracle. And and I didn't want to like be a downer, but I know my voice. You know what I mean? I'm like, unless a miracle does happen, it's not happening. So I just kept getting more and more discouraged as the day went on. And then sound check came around, and I was like, nope. I tried to do sound check, and just to set this up, like as a musician, it was a dream show. Even Matt said at the end of the night how great the venue was. The sound was just killer. And the sound guy, not only was he a good sound guy, but he was attentive and he was nice. And he's like, "Can I get you some cough drops?" And, just trying to make the experience the best that he could. I get on stage and the stage sound is just superb, just one
Hmm.
of those shows where you can just kind of get into a zone. And all of this is just making me feel worse and worse because it's so great there. And anyway, I'm building to a point. So as it gets closer and closer, I'm just really getting angry and bitter. I'm like, why does this stuff always happen to me? Why does this year just keep getting worse and worse and worse? And so I'm backstage in the little green room off the side of the stage, and the local guy I was telling you about, he was singing up there and doing a fantastic job, his first performance ever, and he's killing it. So I'm trying to hum along with him, and I can't even get any notes out. So I'm getting just more and more angry and bitter, as the time approaches. And I got about 3 minutes and I'm up next. And right there, I just said, Lord, I said, I don't know what's going on with this, but you brought me here for a reason. I said, I'm going to walk out onto that stage and I'm going to open my mouth and you fill it. And I had already talked to a young couple. The guy was playing uh, percussion for these beautiful ruins. And him and his wife, I knew they led worship. So I said, if I can't do anything, you guys can come fill my time. So I had them on standby and I walked out and I was just honest on the microphone. I told everybody what was going on. I can't sing. I said, so I'm just going to share a bit of a testimony and maybe try to do one worship song. And I opened my mouth and it seemed like immediately it was 35 minutes later and it just poured out like a faucet.
Mm.
And I get
That's
done. I mean, I told my whole testimony about my daughter and the tree falling on the house and my heart attack. All of these, all just this whole decade, just like intertwined into one, right? And I said I'm going to try to sing this worship song, and I did Waymaker. And I squeaked my way through it, and something just amazing happened. I felt the presence of God just fall on me so heavy that I started to sob on the stage. And when you're on stage and the lights are in your face, you can't really see the audience, but it was like I could see them in my head and I could see the presence of God falling on people. Kind of get choked up talking about it. And people were singing along with me and I could just feel them feeling the presence of God. And I got done and as I'm leaving the stage, Undefeated walked past me and because they were up next and they were just looking at me like, wow, that was powerful. And I couldn't even talk to them. I had to run past them back to the little green room and I just sat there and sobbed for about 10 minutes straight.
hmm.
I mean, I just couldn't control it. I was just like overwhelmed with the spirit. And so anyway, I walked out, talked to some people, and I went to this other backstage area where that local guy was, and we were talking, and he had a young friend who was training to be a minister. And we were just talking, small talk, and all of a sudden he looked at me and says, when you walked out on that stage, as soon as you opened your mouth, he said, I saw the presence of God fall on you. He said, Then I began to see it fall on everybody in the audience. And it was like confirmation. And
Hmm.
so anyway, I share the whole story like because I felt like God said to me that night, what happens if you don't have a voice? Then what are you going to do? Like like the only way I can serve God in my mind is doing this music. And if it doesn't work out and it just hit me like a ton of bricks, like, all right, God, I get what you're saying. And so I went home and I lost my voice for 6 weeks. Couldn't
Wow.
sing, couldn't sing at all. And I got it back for about a week, and then it was gone again. And it finally came back. And, I got to sing at church every week. So slowly but surely, I was a little able to do a little more, a little more. And then I had my first show of the year was at a little pub out here in Michigan, and I had to do 3 hours. Or actually, I did BMO's first. I did a small set at BMO's, this our little local music bar, and then I had to do this 3 hour set out there, and I struggled through the whole night, and they never asked me back, but I made it through the night. And anyway, I wanted to share that story because it made me realize that I have a certain expectation of what I think has to happen. And God reminded me that it's the moments after the set behind the stage when people come up and you pray with them and you talk with them. And just this past Wednesday, me and Eddie Cross played at a bar, and there was nobody there. And we ended up praying with the bar owner at the end of the night over top of the bar. He was behind the bar, we were in front of it, holding hands over top of the bar and praying with him. And just moments like that, if everything else in the music industry fails for me, those are the moments that matter. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
anyway, I know I'm talking a lot. It really,
No, keep going. Like, brother, we're here for this.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to tell all of the Rock for Him listeners, like, you need to, if you see the name Dusty Bones playing, go. Like, this guy's music is fantastic. If you haven't heard it, go on Spotify, stream it. Go on
thank you.
YouTube, stream it. Buy it. Like, seriously, if you go to a show and this man hands you a CD, do what these other folks are doing and hand him a 20 for it. His CD is worth way more. I have it. It is fantastic. Like, brother, you have a talent. I'm telling you right now, if you're watching and listening, July 11th at the Central Church of the Nazarene, you're gonna see Dusty Bones, End of Eye, Crimson Overtone, and Ignescent. Like, this is gonna be a show you're not gonna want to miss. Like, I've seen every one of those bands except for you, Dusty. I am so excited to be able to sit there and just experience a Dusty Bones concert.
I
Like,
appreciate that.
even if you get up there and just give your testimony and you can't sing, I'm there for it. Like, bro, you have no idea how much I love and enjoy your music. Like, every time we get a song and I see the name Dusty Bones on it, like, yes,
I
yes,
appreciate
thank you,
that more than you
God.
know.
You have a honest talent, and nothing brings me more joy than getting to hear your music and knowing that you do it all for the glory of God. This isn't for the glory of Dusty. This is for the glory of God.
Yeah.
I mean, you're fantastic. I want everyone out there to go and stream your music, buy your music, support this guy. You know what? There may be no one at the July 11th concert, but that's okay because I'm going to be there. Riker's going to be there if I have to drag him there. He's going to be there.
It's like 2 minutes from my house, so I would be hard pressed not to.
But, bro, people really need to listen to this guy, see the heart he has for ministry, for music. These are the people that need to be supported. Yeah, you can go and see the Skillet, the Disciple, the whoever, but make sure you're also going to see the Dusty Bones, the Eddie Cross, the End of Eye. Those are the guys, the local boys that we need to really wrap our arms around and support. And I'm telling you right now, Dusty, you always have a home here on Rock for Him. Always. I don't care
I
what kind of
appreciate that.
music.
Yeah.
And you record labels out there. I'm coming for each and every one of you. Like telling Dusty that his music doesn't belong. I'm fired up right now. Every single one of you out there. I know that there's a few labels that watch this show. Contact Dusty right now.
And like if you're
Now.
afraid that it's not gonna perform well, Jason was just telling me on one of our previous top 15 votes that Dusty blew everything else out of the water, getting like hundreds of votes on
215 votes. And I believe, hold on, let me pull up my iTunes because I'll tell you what song it was. Give me 1 second here.
yeah, just for those that are afraid that his music won't
Oh,
perform well.
Back to Start, like your last new song that you came out with. 215 votes. No other artist that has been on the Rock for Him top 15 has ever gotten that many votes. That's how many people love you, Dusty.
That was all my wife.
She just kept signing up for fake Facebook profiles.
Now you know I'm lying because she doesn't even like me.
Oh man. So tell us about this new song. I know you told us a little bit, but now I gotta know. Tell us a little bit about this song.
Um, well, the quick story of it is 2014 when I was out on tour with Noah. You guys know Noah, his
Yes,
old
love
band.
Noah.
We've been friends for a long time. We've been playing shows together. Um, I was with his old band out on tour. We were stuck in a blizzard in Indiana, and while we were there, I get a phone call from my wife that my daughter, 14 years old at the time, had tried to take her life. Took a bottle of pills. I didn't know she was going to make it through the night. And so, like I said, we were stuck. And I really had it out with God that night. And, how could you let this happen to me? I've done so much. I've done everything you've asked me to. So, to move the story along, I headed home. Finally, it took us 10 hours to get from Indiana to Detroit. That's how bad it was out. And the next morning, I flew home to Saginaw, where my daughter was. She made it, and they sent her to mental health, put her on medication. It made her worse. And my wife and I had the hardest year of our lives, trying to navigate through our only child of what do we do? And hiding every knife, every fork, every pill, and you see the light on in the bathroom at 3 o'clock in the morning. You say, "Is this it?" And anyway, so we fought through that whole year. 2 days before Thanksgiving, my wife came to me after 15 years and said, "I'm 2 weeks late." And we were like, "Right now, God, are you serious?" So I went and I bought my wife a pregnancy test because we had to know. And she's reading the instructions. It's been 15 years, and I get another phone call. My daughter was at a party we did not know she was at, and she was held down and by an older man and raped. And so I left my wife there. We were like, "Really, God?" you know, it, this too. So I left my wife there. I went and picked up my daughter, filed a police report, took her to the hospital. We got home about 8:30 in the morning. We slept all day. And meanwhile, my wife has this test looming, right? And when we woke up, my wife went in and took the test, and my daughter didn't have the slightest clue. So she brought the results out, and right there in God's timing, in the moment she needed it most, He answered my daughter's 15-year prayer of a baby sister. And we named her Eliza, which means God is faithful or promise of God. And it saved my daughter's life. And it was still a battle through all those years. And she's now 25. She's going to be 25 in May. She's a manager at Rally. She's doing really, really awesome. My little one's going to be 10 this summer.
If you like what you saw today, hit the subscribe and like button down below, and don't forget to share it to all your friends. Also, leave us a comment down below. If you're gonna rock, rock for him.